Oh hey, nice to see you again. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. It must mean that you might like me. I don't know. Please like me. So recently I asked a question over on my Instagram. If you want my Instagram, it's down in the description below. Free advertisement. And I asked people, what do you want to see on this channel? And one reply that I got was actually a Drama School Q&A. For those who don't know, I am a third year student at drama school. Yes, COVID times makes it difficult. But my lovely friend and fellow YouTuber, Kaylee Brooke Waterman, asked for a drama school Q&A. So hopefully this will be one Q&A out of very many in the future. If you like it and you wanted to know more questions that I didn't answer, please feel free to subscribe and like the video, and then hopefully I will do another Q&A later. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, question number 1. Favourite show or project at drama school? Ooh. When half of your time at drama school is during COVID times, what can you enjoy? Okay, but no, seriously. So there is 2 answers for this question, I'd say. The first part being that in my first year, we had for our third term big assessment to put on a production with one of the tutors from our school. And I was with the head of our course. Yay! And we did a play called The Government Inspector. For those who don't know The Government Inspector, it's written by Nikolai Gogol. Nikolai Gogol. I don't really know how to pronounce that. I think it's Russian. Yeah, it's Russian. Please don't yell at me. I can't do English. There's no surprise that I struggle with names anyway. But yes, so Nikolai Gogol wrote The Government Inspector. And with the kind of course that we did it very eclectically. So we had a lot of music. We actually had us being a band in it. And we did have a bit of movement. And the play itself, it's a comedy farce. And it is so funny. But it's absolutely brilliant. So the brief story of The Government Inspector is there's this really corrupted town and the town's leaders are very corrupted. And they get told that a government inspector from the capital of Russia, Moscow? I might be making that bit up. But they get told that a government inspector is to come and investigate the town, to report back to the main part of Russia to say, this town isn't good. But they need to convince him that they are a good town and they don't secretly take bribes from everyone. And then when 2 clowns come in, the Chinskys, Bob Chinsky and Dob Chinsky, they say, the government inspector has arrived, he's in a local inn. When actually, the person who they are talking about is Ivan Kolesnikov. Ivan is a civil servant, but he has no money because he's basically what every college dropout would be. And he has an assistant, Osip, played by me. And they mistake him for the government inspector and it's just absolute chaos from there. So funny, so much fun. So if you hadn't guessed, I played Osip, the little manservant, and it was hilarious. Like, there's a character called Maria, who is the governor's daughter, and it was just funny because we kind of made like a little storyline that, oh, Osip likes Maria. Just the funny moments that happened during that like process. We're just like, you know what? We need some innuendos in here. This is great. That is probably my favourite thing from first year that I've done. And currently, but because of COVID at the minute, we are having to postpone this for our assessment. We are looking into the play The Visit by Frederick Dürrenmatt. This is Swiss German. I'm sorry if I've butchered that name. I should know. We've been working on this since November, so I should know how to pronounce his name. This play is again another comical play based on corruption, and it's where this made up town of Gwellen in Switzerland are really underfunded and they're waiting for this millionaires to come and give them money. When the millionaires come, who's basically like an android in the modern age. She announces that she will give the town money if they kill her ex-lover, and basically chaos ensues. This is like so much fun. I love working with this cast. It's really funny. We try and make it as bonkers as possible because basically this play requires a circus. So I fit in well as the freak show. And with this is the first role I've ever been a lead part in. I play the mayor. With the mayor, they represent like the corrupted leaders that you get. I'm not going to name who because depending on who you believe in politics, you can make your own opinions, but the typical corrupted leaders that you get and influencers, the mayor is very similar to them in that they too become corrupted. They tend to go the extra mile to be corrupted and to convince Il, who is the lover, to sacrifice himself, in a nutshell. But this is the first role that I've ever got a lead in. I won't get into that because it's for different reasons, but I secretly really wanted this role when auditioning, and when we got told the roles, I'm just like, hallelujah! Like, I was shocked when I got the role because I thought that there were people in the cast who were better suited to the role, which it's likely, it's very possible that some people, you could just be as good, but suitability to a role, it can differ between person to person. So when I got this role, I was just shocked. I think I went into shock, and my housemates had to be like, okay, calm down, well done, but calm down. But like, that process is incredible. Both of which were, I have to clarify that both of which are assessments. They are not public performances, so I have to just clarify that in case anybody's wanting to see it. You can't, unfortunately. Question number 2, best bit of drama school. Oh, okay. So particularly with my course, we are a very devisey, you learned how to make things yourself course. So it's a mixture of acting and performance and directing. I think acting wise, like I said before, being in 2 very comical comedic satire plays, they're really good fun. That's what I've really enjoyed, and I've not been able to do many of them before, but I've also really enjoyed just like learning, because you know, you can only get better from learning, and it's pretty vital to take the knowledge that you have and go on for the future with it. I would also say just getting to know the people around you, really, because you know, you meet so many diverse people, especially on this course, which is a course based on diversity, and you just meet so many different people, and it's just really interesting just to get to know them and know about their backgrounds. I don't really have a best bit. I don't know, a lot of things. Funniest drama school memories. Okay. There are so many things. It could be something so funny or something just completely unexpected. It just becomes absolutely hilarious. I think the one that stands out in my head at the minute is in second year. So my class and I, we were trying to do this thing where you contort your body to try and squeeze it in. So then the circle becomes smaller, then you can contract it to come out. And it was so funny because we were literally there like head to toe and we're like, go! And we tried to do it. We did it a bit, but we were just laughing. It's too much. And we were just there on the floor laughing. It was hilarious. And the teacher came in just confused, but just accepted it because, yeah. Another funniest bit, again, just unexpected moments. Another best bit about drama school is actually things that happen outside of drama school. Now, you probably think, yeah, you're lined up with agents, you're working in the industry already. No, there's a reason why I'm doing YouTube right now. No, it's similar to uni, but it's not uni, but I won't get into that just yet. Another best bit about it is socializing with such different people in different ways. Like, I really enjoyed nights when I would go to a local pub. We would all like order snacks, have a few drinks, and then just stay there for ages. It was great. Also, open mic nights. I last year got to host 2. I was hoping to host 3, but because of COVID, I had to cancel the 3rd term open mic night, unfortunately. But just seeing like everybody come and just gathering around and just being in unison, and it just felt like being part of a really, really amazing company or community, whichever way you go. They're so much fun, and when I got to host them, I just went absolutely bonkers. It was great. What's a new skill that you want to learn? Oh, okay. This is something that I wish my course took more time on. Because my course is a directing and performance course, they're very much focused on doing things yourself, which is great, but at the end of the day, we're still actors. We still need to work. So I wish we had a bit more time on how to do things yourself. So this year we got to do, like, learning how to do self-tapes and learning how to promote a production that you're in. But I wish we just had a bit more time on it and a bit more practice, as well as how to prepare for an audition in the industry, like, and just things like that. A lot of these things do happen in 3rd years, but I wish we just had a bit more time. Performance skill-wise, honestly, I think circus. I'm not very flexible. So when we would do like movement and yoga, everyone would be there like with their back bend near to their head. I'd be there like, that's as far as I can go. I wish that there was a bit more there for me, but at the same time, I always say to myself, I'm not an acrobat, so no point dwelling on that. I just think it'd be a really useful skill, like, because if it can be flexible, great. Worst audition stories. Mate. So I have 2 stories for this. I'm gonna say 2 for this because both are bad, but one of them was probably one of the worst things that could happen at an audition, whilst the other one is just the worst audition experience I've had. It doesn't necessarily mean that they were both my worst auditions. Like, I've had plenty of them, but one of them was just the worst thing that could happen, and the other one was just an audition that I dreaded. First one, which is the worst thing that could happen at a drama school audition. Within my 2 years, I only auditioned for 7 places. 5 in my first year, 6 in my second year. But in my second year, I auditioned for 2 different places. 4 of those places I auditioned for again. It doesn't sound like a lot, but the cost of an audition is so much money. That's not even considering the travel that you have to take. Sometimes, like, if you live far away outside of London, you have to pay to get into London for a 20-minute audition. And for me, I can't afford that. So I did quite a few of my auditions in Birmingham because Nottingham's very close to Birmingham. So it was a lot more easier for me to get there. The worst thing that could happen at an audition, it was my second year and I was auditioning for East 15. So I'd got there, I did my audition, pretty simple. I'd done that audition before, so I kind of knew what expected. And weirdly, the teacher recognised me from the last year. And I was just like, yeah, I was here last year. So that made me feel great. Didn't get recalled for his course though. And then did the Shakespeare. The Shakespeare was interesting. It's always interesting at East 15. And then we had lunch. However, when it came to lunch, my blood sugars, for those who don't know, I'm a diabetic. And your blood sugars can go really high all of a sudden. It was lunchtime and I did my bloods and they were really high. So I was like, okay, give myself injection, temporary rate, do all that jazz. I still felt like not well, because when your blood sugars are high, you know, you don't feel well, just like how you don't feel well when your blood sugars are low. And I was just like, oh gosh, okay. So I couldn't eat lunch. I think I just had a smoothie because I could easily consume that. And we got back to the theatre and they were doing the recalls and who would be recalled for what course. And I was just there, like, with this stomach ache, leaning on the chairs, like, okay, if I don't make it, it's fine. I could go home and drink a load of water. I hadn't done anything the night before, just to clarify. I know that sounds like I was drunk. Believe me, I wasn't drunk. I don't get drunk a lot, I swear. They were doing the recalls and the course I auditioned for, they didn't recall me and I was like, you know what, that's fine. I can audition again next time. But then another course was calling out the recalls, and I was on their list, and I was just like, what? Yeah. And I was just like, I've been recalled. Hallelujah. Instead of doing like a physical recall, which is what a lot of courses do, this one was more of a, let's talk about this course because nobody knows our course exists. I didn't know that this course existed either. And what happened is within 10 minutes, I was getting really hot. I was trying to drink a lot of water. My blood was still really high, but I was just like, I need to get out and get some fresh air. The room that we were in was like a hut, but it's like one of those old school huts that they build onto the building, but it's so insulated that it's so warm. It's like in a typical like secondary music room. Their rooms are so hot, and I don't know why. This room wasn't suitable to perform in, so I had no idea what this room was for on a drama school campus. I was just said after 10 minutes, look, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling too well. Can I just go outside for a few minutes? And they're like, yeah, of course, that's fine. As soon as I get outside, the worst thing could happen. I threw up everywhere. And I was just there like, oh no. But the worst thing is that there were people, I had no idea if they were already students there or if they didn't get called back but they were just waiting, but they were sitting at this picnic table and they saw me and they heard me and they looked at me and they went, oh, that's unlucky, isn't it? And I was just there like, why? This was my first recall, like my first final recall for an audition, and this was at my top place as well, and I threw up, and I just sat at these steps waiting for my blood sugars to come down, and this guy, he was a first year I think, he was just there like, oh hi, you okay? And I was like, I've just been sick. And he was like, oh no, well, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm just deeply embarrassed. Eventually came back into the room, and I was like, hi, I'm sorry I was gone for so long. They're like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just threw up. And they're like, oh, okay, well, don't worry, you do look a bit pale, so you go sit down. And I was just sat there like, head in my hands. Because I was just like, why did this have to happen today? And so they filled me up with the course, and because back to the original meaning of this, I didn't know what the course entailed, so I missed that whole conversation. And so when they were asking if I wanted to be considered for the course, I was just thinking, they're not going to consider me after this. When they came to me to ask, the head of the course was like, you've got colour back in your face now. And I was just like, oh God, this is what I'm going to be remembered for. But I was very lucky that they offered me a place on the course, and it actually ended up being the perfect course for me in the long run. And this is where I am now. Yay! Throwing up helps! No, it doesn't help. If you have a bad audition experience, just think of that. That made it worse. There's nothing can get as bad as that, I swear. Let me do the embarrassment for you. The worst audition experience I had was in my second year again. So I was auditioning for Lambda. Now, the reason I say this is because I don't go to Lambda, if anybody wanted to know, but it's just different. Like, drama schools are different for every people, so whatever I say about drama schools, like, don't take my word for it. Like, it could be perfect for me, but it could be absolutely horrible to you and vice versa. This was just my experience with Lambda. So they were doing a regional audition in Birmingham, which is where I went to, because it was like a lot cheaper and it was a lot safer and quicker for me to get to. With this audition, we were to have a workshop audition and then perform 2 monologues. Simple enough. Would probably take an hour knowing drama school auditions by now. However, I got there and I was a bit stressed because we ended up being a little bit late because there was construction work. Not my fault, but they were behind anyway. They had loads of late auditionees, so they were like, you know what, that's fine. You're not late, according to our schedule, to be honest, which was fortunate. And so they were like, okay, just warm yourself up and I'll see you to it. Now, some drama schools, they literally just see you for 5 minutes. You'll travel all the way to this drama school and do your auditions 5 minutes and they're like, thank you, and then you go. But this one, we were said that the audition would last about an hour. So I got in, warmed myself up and did my 2 monologues. And Then they said, okay, well, you can wait outside for 5 minutes and we'll take you to the interview stage. And I was like, okay, cool. So I sat there and I was like, what? And then I went to the interview and they sat me down and they're like, right, what do you want to know? What? And I was just there thinking, when you are auditioning for a drama school, you want people to audition for you. So I would have thought that they'd be like, this is what we offer. This is everything that we have. Like, you should, as a drama school, you'd want to be showing off this school. But then you want to be showing it off to see how that person reacts and to then see if they are suitable for the school. They asked me what did I want to know. Everything that I wanted to know was on the website. And I just said, I was like, I don't know. And they said, well, everything you need is on the website, so thank you, goodbye. I travelled all the way to Birmingham, expecting an hour's audition, with a workshop warm-up, my audition slot, and an interview, just to be said, look on the website. And literally after that, I was just like, I have no questions, because I would have thought that they would ask me, what do I want? Am I right for their course? But they didn't. And I think by that, they already knew that I wasn't meant to be there. But the weird thing is that it was in Birmingham and they've come all the way from London to advertise their school. So you would have thought that they would have more of a reason to promote the school and for people to promote the auditions. So I came down and we was in this museum place, which was where the audition was, and I rang my mum and immediately the first thing she said was, don't tell me. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I was done in 15 minutes when the audition was meant to be an hour. And so we met each other and I just sat there and my mum was just like, are you okay? And I was like, I don't want to go here. None of the other auditions that I went to was I thinking, I don't want to go here. Some of them was like, well, you know what? In the long run, nah, it's not suitable. This one, I was just like, no. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I hated it not because of what happened, not because I knew what the stereotype of the audition was. It's because I had to pay. This was my most expensive audition as well. I had to pay all that money for 15 minutes when they said that I would get more benefits of the audition. And they didn't provide. But that is to conclude my video for today. Thank you all so much for joining in. If you liked what you watched, subscribe to this channel for more updates. If you want me to do another Q&A, go follow my Instagram, which is in the description below. Thank you all for joining. Hope you all stay safe and I'll see y'all soon.